The Trump administration says the 43-day government shutdown cost the country over $87 billion, or about $15 billion a week. The Congressional Budget Office, or CBO, says it estimates that the shutdown could reduce GDP growth by as much as 1.5 percentage points in the fourth quarter. President Donald Trump and GOP lawmakers say the shutdown was politically motivated by Democrats. Joe Livonia is the counselor to Treasury Secretary Scott Benson. Joe, what do you think the economic implications of the shutdown will be?
John, you laid it out pretty compellingly and simply, and that is that it hurt the economy. I'm not a Washington guy. I'm a finance guy, a Wall Street guy. I hate to be so cynical as to think that the opposing party did try to damage the economy, but it does appear that indeed was the case. Private sector accounts have also lowered their numbers, similar to what you just mentioned in terms of GDP basically being cut in half. We might have been growing at 3% or potentially grow 3% in the fourth quarter, and it may be half that because of the reasons you just highlighted, the fact that the Democrats kept the economy hostage by keeping the government closed. The good news, John, is we will bounce back 2026. There's a lot of reasons to be very optimistic, but still we're hurting the economy in the short term. It was unnecessary. Thankfully, it didn't go longer. Well,
isn't it true, though, that, Joe, that some of the economic activity that we missed will not be gained? Is that correct?
Yes, you'll make back the level of output, but we're losing that $87 billion in this quarter, which was unnecessary. That's about $654 per household if you just take that number and compare it to GDP. So it's certainly sizable. You've seen weak consumer sentiment. You've seen equity markets that have been fragile. And again, this was due to the Democrats holding the government hostage, the country hostage, keep the government closed, and it did some economic damage. But again, thankfully, President Trump, given his prior stewardship of the economy and the confidence investors and businesses have in him, we will be okay. But there was some damage done.
Jerome Powell, I think he said recently at a press conference, "What do you do if you're driving in the fog? You slow down." And of course, a lot of the statistics and numbers that you guys use to guide yourselves on the economy, there just is none of that for about, 6 weeks, right?
As Governor Waller had said recently, we're not really in a fog. I mean, there's a lot of private sector data, a lot of industry reporting, which shows a couple of things, John. Number one, the labor market continues to downshift. It had downshift well before President Trump took office. Roughly 2 million jobs that appeared to exist in 23 and 24 aren't there. We had data recently from various private purchasing manager surveys that were soft. The CPI that we had came in below market expectations. Yes, I understand there's uncertainty, so maybe the Fed will err on the side of just doing 25 and not 50. But it seems like the debate among many Fed people is maybe we're not going to do anything. And that, to me, would be a huge mistake.
So what you are saying, though, is that this shutdown, which was precipitated by the Democrats, they would not approve that continuing resolution. They voted against it, 14 times, I think, something like that. In the end, there were 8 Democrats who decided to vote with the Republicans and approve that continuing resolution after 6 weeks, and there was damage done. There was real damage done to the economy, right?
Yes, and kudos to my boss, Secretary Benson, who highlighted the need for Democrats to come over and cross the aisle because Republicans simply don't have the votes. We passed the CR with a very small majority thanks to Speaker Johnson in the House, but we did not have the votes in the Senate. It wasn't our fault. And all along we said we will talk about some of the things the Democrats want, but we need to first negotiate a clean CR. That's basically what happened, but it happened after 40-plus days of the government being closed and didn't help anybody. And it hurt working class Americans, hurt families, hurt the working poor, and wasn't necessary. But as I mentioned earlier, and maybe didn't go into more detail, we've got a lot of good things coming in 26, John. You've got the no tax on tips and overtime, which some private sector estimates say could be worth up to $200 billion in refunds that working class Americans are going to get back. That'll be hugely positive for their cash flow, for the economy, for employment. So a lot of good stuff is still coming.
Joe Livonia, who is counsel to Treasury Secretary Scott Benson and an economist in his own right. Sir, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.